I think we have the tools and the understanding and then the resources through this experience with NFF to continue to grow the organization.
We went from being surviving mode to being thriving.
We got several grants because we were able to leverage the NFF funding.
This is what we need more of. We need partners who step in and believe in us.
This is the work I'm called to do. So it's really difficult to ask for money to do this work. Understanding the value that we bring and that it's okay was really, really important in order to move forward.
Small nonprofits start up. It's like building any other business. You don't even know what the problems are. You just realize that you're working yourself to death and you don't know what could help you.
We had those conversations like, you need to pay yourself, because I was not taking a salary for the first 4 years. For Brown and Black communities, that has been driven, that poor righteous teacher mentality has been driven into us big time.
You have the lived experience and expertise in the problem that your organization exists to solve. They have done such incredible work with so few resources. And it's that beauty of, I think I have a solution or an intervention that can support my community in moving through this problem. Oh no, I now run a nonprofit. It's really, really necessary to remind leaders that they're learning how to be a nonprofit ED and to give themselves a lot more credit for where they are in that journey.
Participating in this opportunity allowed us to develop a new business. We now own 10 community solar gardens that not only generate renewable energy for our community, but they also generate income that supports the work that we're doing. NFF's support for that, not only through grant dollars and technical assistance, but also just NFF staff being available to us and answering questions and being willing to go down this rabbit hole with us and go on the journey with us was absolutely incredible. I think our budget was $300,000 the year we started, and now it has been over $1 million.
We have been in these 3 years growing, not just only in funding, but also in staff, also in programs, also in more deep of what we want to see the organization in the future.
We went from being nomadic and kind of teaching classes out of local studios to actually having our own studio. So when we started, we were serving maybe 350 people annually to now well over 5,000 people. And that I can absolutely say would not have happened without the mentoring and the coaching and the community that we formed through the Community Builders programming.
We would not be where we are if it wasn't for the partnership and support of NFF and the whole team. And now I feel very confident to apply for funding and, and just that the infrastructure has been laid out.
I think it's really important that leaders self-determine or co-create the design of their capacity building support because they need to be bought in. It helps an organization and their leader understand that if you do invest in this work, we're supporting you. And it shows that as funders, we're now leaning towards supporting an organization leader who is willing to invest in the long-term growth of their organization through participating in deep capacity building work.
Communities have the knowledge to address the challenges they are facing. If we want to see more change, we need more flexible grants.
The unrestricted funding Again, I think everybody shoots from the rooftops that is what we all need. Being able to meet the community needs in real time with funding available that's not restricted is incredibly valuable.
So I learned more about what a relationship with a funder could look like. To feel validated and supported was amazing, especially when you're dealing with small organizations with very limited resources, because we want to participate, we want to learn, we want to grow, we want to build capacity.
As leaders, our time often isn't valued. We have a lot of people who are asking for our time and for our ideas and for our input. That was a huge part of why we signed up for this opportunity, because we knew that NFF valued our time.
Having this funding for 3 years was this consistent, was like, okay, I can breathe a little bit.
We would not have grown in the manner that we did if it was a one-year program, because it took months for us to have the trust with each other to share what we were working on and what our visions were for our organizations. And if it wasn't for that one-on-one mentoring, that took a full year before I could actually start putting numbers and plugging numbers into the budget projections.
We are oftentimes the accountant. We are doing the books ourselves. We are running payroll, and it takes time to learn those skills.
Having the 3 years where we could say, okay, this month I can't do anything, but next month I can. It literally reduced the stress and the trauma of having to feel like you're on a hamster wheel all the time. Go, figure it out as you go, figure it out as you go. To be able to kind of slow down and say, I can dream.
When I think about long-term funding investments, they are far less risky than a 12-month grant contract, because it's allowing for the space and time for the work to develop. This funder understands that they are also saving me the time and mental energy of securing this in next year's budget. So that time and mental energy can go towards the growth of the organization, the stabilization of our systems, the exploration of new partnerships, all of that stuff that can be hard to find the funding for.
The changes we are looking to create in our world, that doesn't happen in a year. If funders really want to see that change happen, we have to have years-long relationships or decades-long relationships if they truly want to see that change. We aren't going to create affordable housing in a year. We aren't going to fix the food system in a year. We're going to fix that in decade-long chunks.
So often, the spaces that executive directors enter, it's super, super high stakes. You're representing the entirety of your team, the entirety of your org. You're the voice of this community. You're in front of stakeholders. So being in a depressurized context with other executive directors allows you to take the mask off.
I was so focused in surviving in inside organization that I didn't have time, or I didn't know that were other leaders who were doing the same thing.
Being in a room with individuals who are also in the middle of that experience and going through it and can say hey, I've had that happen too, or here's what I did in that situation. I feel like it grew everyone's confidence.
How do you have employee retention? How do we navigate the current political realities that are happening successfully? How do you do a strategic plan? We're all struggling with these questions.
I do think that NFF did their research to find really qualified technical assistance providers who also valued the same things that our organizations valued. We didn't have to explain health equity to these groups. We didn't have to explain language justice. Those were things that these providers already lived and breathed, and they were our champions from day one.
They opened up possibilities and kind of helped us see beyond like what we see every day. What centered us was a care for our community.
Nonprofit organizations are doing impactful work. Why wouldn't we want to see that grow? Why wouldn't we want to see the leadership and team grow together? Why wouldn't we want to invest in the types of things that can help facilitate that growth? You have folks that come alongside an entrepreneur, a business owner, to help with things like marketing, operations, HR, just the whole gamut of skills needed to run a company. We're a little late in the nonprofit sector with being open to providing that type of support to nonprofit leaders who aren't motivated by profit margin, actually, but who are motivated by serving the people around them. If we want to see things change in the nonprofit sector, I'm like, well, we've got to fund the things that can help the leaders and organizations change too.
We saw that the organizations have become stronger. The leaders have become stronger because if they have increased wages, increased personnel, or facilities, it cements their long-term commitment. They don't give up so easily. They've gone through the really difficult part of things and kind of turned the corner.
I think we have the tools and the understanding and then the resources through this experience with NFF to continue to grow the organization in a way that we can sustain and maintain for another 30 plus years.
We went from being surviving mode, ongoing surviving mode, to being thriving.
We got several grants because we were able to leverage the NFF funding. And so, so I'm pretty confident to apply it to any foundation at this point that aligns with our work.
Ultimately, I think this is what we need more of for nonprofits, especially small community-based organizations that don't necessarily have the capacity ourselves to go out and learn these things. We need partners who step in and believe in us and believe in our missions. And if we want to see real change, this is exactly the type of support that we need.